because no Assassino. We cannot allow Assassino to kill us. I'll drop a best on him. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, let's see here. Is everything cool? I don't know. Oh, okay, it is. Hold on. Hello, hello? Yep, my check is good. Yeah, I was just talking to you guys in the party. I wasn't like, oh, hey, there's a chip by power chip. I ain't picky. I was talking to you guys in the party chip and didn't have my actual mic icon on in the stream. Yeah, it's... I mean, stuff happens. No one's perfect. I mean, cut me a break. Yeah, I just decided to stream today. It's been such a long time since I've streamed, so give people a little insight on the update and whatnot. Controversial things like the cost per shard for the grind that it takes to get that amount of defender medal. And then, you know, me being a max mastery player that has hyper shards and whatnot. I mean, oh yeah, dude, I finished mastery a month or so ago. Actually, to tell you the truth, if you look on the leaderboards for Dungeon Defenders, right? Look on the leaderboard for Dungeon Defenders. Go to the mastery on Xbox One. Scroll all the way to the very bottom. I was the last one on Xbox One to actually get on the leaderboard. Yeah. And Dungeon Defenders has been out for how long? Yeah. I mean, the game was already, you know, not the hottest game out. Ow, that hurt. Oh, I can't put too late. But yeah, now we're just farming to keep. I've got to build up some gold and whatnot. I've got to, because I'm on my onslaught grind. So, with that being said, I've got to build up the gold because I carry myself. I don't rely on someone else. I've been taught to do that since, you know, I had some issues prior to this. I've since then learned to rely on myself. And I've pushed 9 floors by myself. Namely, I mean, I've had one other help me, but it's not like I wasn't helping myself. And it was only for like a couple matches. It's not like the full grind. But yeah, I've got 9 ancient powers under my belt. And like I said, I'm a max mastery player. As you can see here, I use Eevee, and I do have automation on my Eevee, which is what I use. Actually, I did get a, yeah, I did get a power chip. There it is. Yeah, player market's broken right now. They kind of messed up the, you know, players being able to sell crafting materials and all that stuff. I mean, they released the update, and with updates come issues regardless. So it was just something that happened. I mean, I'm aware that they are in the process of fixing this, but I need to make it aware to others that it takes time for fixes and whatnot. Oh, I ran into a, oh my god. What time? What time? Yeah, I'm on my, I don't call her my real gun witch. I call her my knockoff gun witch. And this is just the gun witch that I have my shards on, so I'm viable as far as a gun witch, but I don't care what gear she has on, just so I can push onslaught and kill. So she's like my knockoff gun witch that I use when I'm on pushing onslaught and whatnot. Until I'm done with ancient powers, like I said, I'm probably going to end up grinding out all the ancient powers. Like, I want all of them. So, yeah, I do follow Douchebag. Douchebag is a very big part of Dungeon Defenders. Without his builds and whatnot, I don't know where I'd be in Dungeon Defenders. So yeah, Douchebag, I can say he's pretty much enabled me, more or less, to do this. But Juice Bags has not played with me. I've only been taking his advice from his video. So with that being said, yeah, I give credit where it's due. Juice Bags is why I've built this way. Juice Bags is why I'm strong. But at the same time, I've taken what he's, shown and whatnot, and I've made it different in a way. Done a little bit of tweaks here and there, you know what I mean? Because not everybody plays the same, Not everybody plays the same. So obviously, I could make his build exactly, but not everybody plays the same. Now, for the most part, yeah, I've got majority of his defense builds because they're self-explanatory. Like, you want destruction, defense rate, and deadly strikes on namely everything except for a select few things. But as far as chips and stuff that goes into your gear, like, yeah, I've changed a little bit of that stuff to my liking. What's good, Draken? Yeah, because after you get to wave 6 out of 6 on this map, it just relies on you killing Draken for the map to end. So, that's why you just go after Draken. And like I said, automation gives you 100% tenacity. I'm glad they did not change that. But yeah, that's all it is. But as far as the vendor goes and all that stuff, yes, I know it's a controversial argument that people are making and having issues about, and just all the disbelief that, oh, I can't believe they did this, I can't believe they did that. I mean, think about it. Yes, you're paying 1,000 defender medals per shard, and it takes you roughly 2 weeks to grind out 1,000 because you get from each map about 23 defender medals, right? And then aside from your dailies and weeklies and all that stuff, so altogether it takes you about 2 to 3 weeks to get you 1,000 defender medals. At that time, you're guaranteed any shard that you want. The issue with that, you need 11 of whatever shard it is to gild it out. So you're not basically, capped out or having to re-level it to reset. So for instance, for me, since I'm on a reset grind and I'm using ancient powers like out the wazoo, like every time I get a chance, I go back and reset. So for me, it's imperative that I have those shards gilded out because I'm wasting more money not having them gilded out than having them gilded out. But at the same time, 1,000 defender medals for one shard. For one shard now. That's a bit absurd. I mean, I agree with Juice Bags, it's a bit on the high end. Because think about it this way. Naturally, at the shard vendor, right? The grandma or the war recruit, whichever one you're going to, you can either trade in your dust and get one shard from whatever, or you can go to grandma and you can get a shard pack. Well, that shard pack costs you 500 and you get 5 shards. So at grandma, her shard in that pack technically costs you 100 defender medals, right? 100 defender medals per shard in that pack. And now we have the vendor where if you purchase the exact shard you want, you have to pay 1,000. That's kind of, I mean, personally, I'd rather just use gems. Like, that's probably what I'm going to do because personally, like 1,000 defender medals for one shard, exactly what you want. Now, granted, I get that shard is exactly what you want, but think about it. 1,000 for one when it takes 11 to gild it, that's 11,000 defender medals. That's nearly all your defender medal pool. You're not going to get that in a day of just grinding and playing. So with that being said, I hope that they are already up. So with that being said, it's going to take you roughly, say you use the monk. Like a common interest that everybody has. They use the monk. Flame Wars, Lightning Wars, Sky Guards. Just those 3 in general towers, right? Or auras, regardless, you know what I mean? That's going to take you about, I'd say, let's see here. That's 33 shards you need. That's 33,000 defender medals that you need. 33,000 defender medals will take you about 3 to 5 months. Considering that you get the weekly, right, and saving up, it's going to take you about 3 to 5 months to get that. Now, tell me, in 3 to 5 months, how many times are you going to push an onslaught and reset? How many times are you going to re-upgrade a defense rate because you're doing something for this trap, and you need another defense rate for that trap, and you need another deadly strikes for this trap and that trap? Like, how much resource are you going to use upgrading each one of those shards in 5 months, right? In 5 months. Like, it's going to take you a pretty good amount to do so. Like I said, I'm not good with math, but like I said, it takes you about 2 to 3 weeks to get to 1,000. So it's going to be roughly 4 to 5 months to get 33,000 to build it. Now, if you did nothing at all, but just play the game, grind, stay out of the ancient power route, you know, don't go into ancient powers and all that stuff. If you did not touch ancient powers for 3 to 5 months and just saved up, versus if it were a reasonable price, like say per defender medal, or not per defender medal, per shard, it actually was 500 defender medals. Say, reason I say 500, think about it. The shard vendor grandma, before this, the shard packs, you were getting 5 shards for 500. That's roughly 100 defender medals per shard. But to guarantee the shard you want, you have to pay 1,000. I'd rather pay 500 for that guaranteed shard instead of 500 for random shards at 100 apiece. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with douchebags. I'm just agreeing that it's going to take you an extremely long time to get to 33,000 defender medals to guild 1 defense rate, 1 deadly strikes, and 1 destruction. That's just to guild 1. Now, me personally, I have every hero except for 2, and that's the Adept and the Initiate. I'm only getting 1 guaranteed destruction, deadly strikes, and defense rate out of 33,000 defender medals. That's just too much, you know. It's just too much. Now, this isn't a rant or a rave that I'm making. It's just a ultimatum. Instead of it being 1,000 per, why not make it reasonable and go about, you know, like I'd even agree with 800. I would even agree with 800. You know, you get 500 for random shards and they're 100 apiece. I'd give 800 for a shard that I want. You know what I mean? But 1,000, that's. I mean, like I said, we can only hold 12,000 defender medals. You can't even save up to 33,000 defender medals right off the bat to get all 3 of them gilded. No, you have to use your defender medals, go back, use them, go back. It's not even like we have a big gap for our defender medals. So with that being said, it just makes our grind even longer because we have to spend the resources, defender medals, once we get them to that cap. Or we can't gain any more defender medals. So, I mean, either implement a system, this is what I'm saying, implement a system that raises our defender medal cap, or lower the cost of defender medals per shard by 200. That would give you at least 2 defender medals, or 2 sets of defender medals that you could guild. If it was 800. I mean, like I said, I'm not good with math. I mean, I'm either saying it's 800 or 750 that's going to net you at least 2 shards that you can guild out. If you got all 11. I'm not sure. Someone can correct me on that. Like I said, I'm not decent at math. But only having the ability to build out 1 defender medal, that's kind of, you know, like, why? Why only give us the luxury of building out 1 defender medal before we run out of space, you know? I mean, I get it, this is a strategic game and it's a grind and a long haul game. I get it, trust me, I definitely get it. I'm a max mastery player, I know the grind. I'm just now starting on my ancient powers and I've gotten 9 for myself so far. I understand the grind, I get it. anyone that wants to argue with that reason, don't. I get your grind. I understand just as much as you do, if not more, because, like I said, mastery by itself, it's tough. But what I'm saying is, isn't this specific update, supposed to be easier for new players that are coming into the game to benefit more from these type of vendors? Like, me being a much older player, and I'm not saying I'm the oldest or anywhere along the lines, but I'm pretty, old as far as a defender account goes. Like, I played DD1, DD2, and I've gotten this far in DD2. I've gotten further than this in DD1. Like, as far as an older player goes, this update really doesn't benefit me. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, I should have what I need gilded, which I do. I have majority of my stuff gilded out already. But isn't this update supposed to help newer players get better attuned to this game and this playstyle, but not give them, not enable them to just have everything? Like, newer players coming in, they're not going to understand defender medals right off the bat. And then to have to get 1,000 of them to get one shard that they're guaranteed. And then on top of that, you got a chance of them getting defender medals and getting the wrong shards, because newer players are not always prone to checking content on YouTube. Like, I would direct anybody to Juice Bags or someone along that line for information. I mean, if I'm on stream and you speak, I would, gladly tell you some things that would be valuable information. But no, newer players are not going to want to do that. They're going to want to come in the game, see how it is, test the waters, and then go from there. Now, regardless if they search up videos and content and whatnot to help them out better, that's on them. But for the ones that don't, they would be wasting 1,000 defender medals and getting something that they're not going to need at that time. So it's not like it helps newer players. It just, I mean, for one, 1,000, you're new. You gotta play for 2 to 3 weeks to get 1,000. Are you really going to grind out Dungeon Defenders for 2 to 3 weeks to get that one shard you want starting off? Okay, I want my first shard to be Destruction because I heard it's good, but I got to play this game for 3 weeks every day to grind out, get my dailies done. I got to play it for 3 weeks like that. Do I really want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. Screw this game, I'm going to play something else. That's what new players will do. Why? Because those games like, just to name a few, and yes, you can, whatever. Fortnite, PUBG, Art, what is that new one? Hero, For Honor. There's a lot of different games that newer players would have better time on grinding than Dungeon Defenders at this point, which is a arcade game, granted. Like, shouldn't this game, since it's in its basically final push of getting popularity and people, just an update before DBA arrives months later, should this game not enable you a little bit more for the newest? I mean, saying you gotta grind out for 2 weeks to get a certain shard when you're new is kind of a way to say if you're new and you don't want to grind, you shouldn't play this game. I mean, that's no way to keep people in your game, making them have to grind out for 2 weeks straight to get a shard. Mind you, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can spread out that 2 weeks as far as you want. But if you want that shard and if you don't want to go farm for it like us older players, expedition after expedition at the same chaos level, you know what I mean? If you don't want to do that and you want to get that exact shard, you gotta farm out for 2 weeks. Like, why would anybody expect someone to do that? I don't understand. And like I said, it's a controversial conversation between a lot of players. Like, it's a lot of players basically downfalling this game. People don't have the shards that they need. And then to put the ratio to shard so high, it's a bit absurd. Me personally, I could care less. I have what I need. It's not going to affect me. I'm saying for the newer players, though, they're going to have a harder time than I did coming in the game, and I didn't have the luxury of just buying the shard just because they have to grind more for the defender medals, not for the shard itself. So think about it. In 2 weeks, right, just speaking, me being an older player versus a newer player, in 2 weeks, I could grind out 5 destructions versus getting 1,000 and getting 1 destruction. That's the difference. You can literally go to Chaos 1. You guys need to get out of there. You're not burning them. You can literally go into Chaos 1 and grind out destruction and get it in about 30, 40 matches, right? Depends on how your RNG is. You can grind out destruction now. Like, it's possible. Go to Chaos 1, grind out destruction. In the time that someone would get 1,000 defender medals to get 1 destruction, I could go to Chaos 1, grind it out, and get quintuple that, or quadruple that, or however many it's going to give me. Because like I said, RNG is basically what that is. Like, it's RNG when you're on the grinding and farming out the shards. But I'm saying it would be, I'd get my shards sooner and probably a lot more doing that than spending 1,000 defender medals and saving up that way. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would you, in turn, make the grind easier than buying what you want? You know? Because at that point, the grind is easier than getting 1,000 defender medals. I mean, it truly is. The grind is easier than getting 1,000 defender medals. The grind is easier than getting 33,000 defender medals for 3 different towers. Or 3 different shards. Destruction, defense rate, deadly strikes. I mean, the grind would just be easier at that point. I mean, yes, the gem currency is okay. That's fine. That's not a bad price for it. Because you pay 250 gems for the shard you want versus 125 gems for the shard pack itself. That's the difference. Now, 125 gems to 250 gems. Think about it. Did I miss some? Yeah, I did. 150 gems for the shard or 250 gems for the shard you want versus 125 for the shard pack, as Grandma was selling it, right? That ratio is better than 500 gems for 5 shards, which is 100 gems per shard versus 1,000 gems per shard. I mean, break it down. 100 gems per shard, right? That's what you pay for that shard pack when you buy the shard pack for 500 defender medals. 100 gems per shard versus 1,000 gems per shard. And then you look at the gems ratio. 1,000 or 125 gems per shard pack. So I don't know the ratio for that. That's 125 divided by 5, right? I mean, like I said, I'm not the best in that. I can work that out. But 125 gems for 5 versus 250 gems for 1. That's a better ratio than 1,000 to 100. Without even me knowing, you know, the best math and whatnot, I can already tell that that's a better ratio. 1,000 versus 100 versus 125 to 250. Granted, that is your real money that you're putting in. So, I mean, with that being said, it takes like that into consideration. But it's a better ratio than 1,000 to 100. You know, like it's like, really, what are they trying to do with this game? And I mean, granted, they said in the patch notes it would be less than 1,000 defender medals per shard, when yet they made it exactly 1,000. That's what I don't understand. They made it exactly 1,000 when they said it'd be less than 1,000. I mean, yes, less than 1,000 gave it a lot of room for, you know, 999 or something still pretty pricey. But it's just the fact that they said less than 1,000, but yet in turn made it exactly 1,000. How is that less than 1,000? They went back on what they said at this point. At least as far as what I've heard. I've not seen that in writing. I've not heard that on streams or anything. I've only heard that from others, that it would be less than 1,000 is what they said. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. You can debate with me, whatever, but that's what I've heard. They said it's going to be less than 1,000. Why am I lighting these? I got automation. They said it's going to be less than 1,000. Why make it exactly 1,000? So either I had misguided information there, or they went back on what they said they were going to do. I don't know. I'm not going to point fingers, but that's just what I heard. But even so, 1,000 is kind of like charging top dollar for something that, to be honest, is not worth that many defender medals. To be honest, it's not. Now, if you have all the heroes, if you have, I don't really use defender medals like that, so I can't even really say what, you can get with defender medals. But I know for a fact, heroes. If you have all the heroes, then yeah, use your defender medals. You got nothing else to use them for. Unless you want to take the random pick and get the shard packs, which at that point would be cheaper. You'll get 5 times as many shards from a shard pack than you would purchasing that one shard. Granted, it's a chance and it's random, but think of it. You're getting 5 times as many shards for 1,000. So instead of 1 shard for 1,000, you're getting 10 shards for 1,000. And if you don't get the shard you want, guess what? Those 10 shards, you can trade them in for dust and get a whole nother shard. So that's 11 shards you could get for 1,000 defender medals, technically. Now, like I said, it's based off of your RNG and your chances and all that stuff. But still, at the same time, it's the cost ratio. That's what you gotta look at. Are you willing to pay 1,000 for the guaranteed shard? Granted, it takes you 3 weeks to get to that 1,000. Or would you rather pay 500 and get random shards for a chance to get the shard you want? Granted, you can still buy it for the shard pack that it's in. Like, for instance, destructions in 1, defense rates in 4, deadly strikes is in 3. As far as expeditions increased difficulty, I guess. My EV trucks are only Chaos 7 maxed out from Onslaught, and I don't have anything else other than obviously the Shocking Revelations, Water, and Tenacity. But I actually took the Tenacity off and put Defense Range. But it might be a little bit tough. I don't know. It's fine. We good. I could add down here though. But yeah, I mean, it's just really the shard thing that's the issue. Nothing else seems to be the issue. I mean, granted, trading materials and whatnot, and it's bugged right now. Yeah, I get why that would make people mad. That's probably more than half of people's source of income. So with that being said, yeah, I can see why that would make you mad. But at the same time, you can do this right here, grind out missions and get money, you know what I mean? Because the majority of the time in this game is meant to be in-game playing, not sitting in a town anyway. Like, why would you want to spend your time playing Dungeon Defender sitting in the town waiting for people to buy your shit or not? Personally, I don't choose to do that. I'd rather be in a mission grinding out my money and getting money like this than to take a chance at someone either buying or not. And some of those people's prices are outrageous. I mean, come on now. You know who you are. You know what them prices you be setting. Like, it's kind of outrageous. So, at that same time, like I said, it's what are you going to do in this game? How are you going to play this game? And I'm speaking for new players in general at this point. How do you want to play Dungeon Defender? Do you want to sit here and grind out? Do you want to sit here and be in a town? Do you want to sit here and play the game every so often? Like, what do you want to play Dungeon Defenders for one? You have to play it for a certain reason. Do you like the game? Do you want to see what the top stuff is? Like, what got you into this game? Your friends play this game? Okay, so what did your friends say is in this game? Then, take what they said and ask them, how long did it take you to get this game? And then ask them about the new update. That's what I would say. Give me a second, guys. What? No? Now it seems like my audio is down a little bit. I'm not sure why though. I don't know. We might have to check that and whatnot. It's first stream in a while, so I gotta work out the kinks and whatnot again. Siege roller. But no, I mean, like I said, I didn't want this stream to be me ranting or raving over the shard thing. It's that I care too much about the future of DD2 for newer players that are awaiting DDA because they heard about it and seen the Kickstarter, you know? So now that DDA has been announced officially and all that stuff, and the Kickstarters already went through, and yes, I am a backer, by the way. Now that all that has been said and done, DD2 has more in its population because it was a hot topic. It was, you know, put out there. So more people are interested in DDA coming. They want to test out DD2 to see how it's going. See what it's like, what they can expect for DDA, you know what I mean? How in the world, who simple these guys are getting through? There's no way. I gotta put a second thing up there at some point, I guess. Oh, there's Tusker. Oh, well, you gotta walk down here. Someone used their, gravity. Like I said, I never claimed to be the strongest, and I mean, yes, this is my gun witch. That is my knockoff gun witch. This is not my real gun witch. I'll show you guys my real heroes in case you're worrying or wondering. Yeah, well, the whole DDA thing and, you know, it being announced and people now getting on DD2 because they heard about DDA and how it's supposed to be great and all this stuff. They came to DD2 because it's the only Dungeon Defender game out on Xbox One. And PC possibly has DDA and, or not DDA, DD1 and whatnot, because they don't have to worry about backwards compatibility because they're on PC. And then if you got 360 or PlayStation 3, like you've got DD1 on there, like you can go play those games. But for the most part, people are on PS4 and Xbox One, so they're playing DD2. Those are the people that have heard about DDA, think it's cool. They might have or might not have backed the Kickstarter because they think it's cool and it's worth it. And they came to DD2 for the first time, not even playing a Dungeon Defenders game. And the first thing they hear about, there's a new update coming with a shard vendor. Oh, cool, what is it? And then newer players that don't understand Defender medals and whatnot, they're like 1,000 Defender medals for one shard? I mean, look, think how that looks. Think how that looks. You're purchasing 5 shards for 100 Defender medals for so long, and then you just throw at us. You get one shard that you want, really, really want, for 1,000. Yeah. I don't see how that's going to help anybody. That's just going to make people not want to play the game. That's just going to deter people away from the game. I mean, I can already tell you of a few names that I know of that are pretty high up that have went away, taking a break from Dungeon Defenders because they're upset with the shard vendor and all that stuff. Like, they're thoroughly upset. People that have been playing the same amount of time, if not longer, are upset because of the shard vendor and how its work is enabled and all that stuff. Like I said, just lowering it by 200 Defender medals would make people happy. If not, then at least give us 2 shards guaranteed for the price of 1,000. Considering we only have to pay 500 to get 5 random shards. And then on top of that, like I said, grind at this point is easier to do than saving up 1,000 Defender medals. Like, you gotta pick and choose how you want to employ people to getting things in this game. I forgot to put something up there again. Rip. I'll do that now then. But yeah, this is my knockoff money and knockoff gun whip. Like, they're just there for onslaught because I can put them on onslaught push. No, I'm not supposed to put this up here now because the map is over. I'm just trying to see if I can put it anywhere. Might have to move the EV trap down a little bit. Yeah, I can't put it anywhere. The EV trap's too much in the way. But that's all I'm saying. Like I said, me personally, I could care less. But for the newer players and for much older people that are trying to get certain things for certain people. Like me personally, like I said, I can care less because I'll go grind. Like, I don't mind it. I won't spend 1,000 dinners for one shard. I refuse to. I'd rather grind out my shards and get money in the process than to have only gotten one shard that I can trade in for 1,000 defender medals. Like, yeah, I'm good. Draken's not following the path he's supposed to follow. Someone let him back there. I've got burning strikes on, but yet he's not getting lit up. Kind of stupid. There we go. Like I said, I'm not the strongest yet. I am slowly catching up to a friend of mine. He's already maxed. His name's Terminator. I get tips from him every now and again. I ask questions and whatnot. Like I said, I've pushed 9 ascension points for ancient powers in less than a week. Because I actually do play Dungeon Defenders too when I grind out this game, like out the ass. So, and I've got, I want to say 40. No, I've got 36 more to go. I don't know. I ain't really did that math again yet. I don't know, but I don't got that many more to go. I mean, as far as my grind goes and my push and how fast and efficient I am, right now I'm just trying to stack up some more money because I gotta re-upgrade my AV trap. Because like I said, I carry myself for the most part. So, but me being a max mastery player is awesome as hell. Automation is worth it. It truly is. I don't have to worry about my traps being disabled by frosty cyborgs or anything like that. That was the 3rd map I completed. That's why I got that daily done and got 300 defender medals. But as you've seen there, I got 20 something just for completing the map. That's how much you get just for completing the map. But for the most part, like I said, it's just I don't want newer players to get discouraged that this game is going to take that long. I mean, it's one thing that you already have to grind in the game to get stuff, right? It's one thing that you already have to grind in the game to get stuff. But to show it with this new shard vendor, like you need 1,000 to do so. It's just, why? Why would you do that? I don't get it. I really don't. Yeah, see, this is all completely messed up right now. There we go, I need to turn that on. Why do I not have, well, they built. Okay, well, I'll let other people build. It doesn't matter to me. No one ever said I had to be the one to build, so it's fine. I just build because I don't have to worry about that stuff freezing. Granted, it is beans, so they stretch a pretty good amount. Looks like he's got deadly strikes on his tree, so that's good. Doesn't look like it's gilded though. What's his range on his tree? Yeah, it's not a gilded deadly strikes. 1980. Nowhere near. But now I have to worry about lighting these things. I mean, I don't mind to. It's just when I'm building, I don't have to worry about it. You know, I'm just grinding up the map. So, I'm not saying no one can build on this map. I'm not saying that at all. It's just easier to let someone with automation build on the map because you don't have to worry about, you know, the whole this. Exactly what this is. This right here. This is what happens. This is what happens. You don't have to worry about this. As long as you've got someone with automation. Now, I've got to remember the dragon's pathing and whatnot because someone else wanted to build on this map. And no one had to worry about that with me. Oh, is this? Here we're good. But, like I said, I'm not trying to make the stream sound like a rant or a rave, even though it's probably sounded like that. I mean, yeah, you can bash me for it, whatever. I don't care. But at the same time, I agree that it's too much. Defender medals per shard. I just agree with that. And then I disagree with the whole keeping it that way. Like if they choose to keep it that way, I disagree with that. This dude's stuff is getting turned off. I'd rather flyers not be getting anywhere near this. At least on that side. This side seems to be fine. Pookster. Or Pookus Jr. Sergeant King Lemon Sniper. Dragon froze. No one's going to unfreeze. Yeah, see, this is the issue that you have. No one goes to unfreeze anything. They just expect it to still work. You gotta unfreeze the stuff, guys. If you don't, then your traps are not going to be effective unless you have automation. And even at that point, Dryad is probably one of the worst ones to build on this map, even if you do have automation, because guess what? If your tree freezes, your traps freeze. If your traps freeze, your tree doesn't do anything but perform as a blockade. So at that point, you would need 2 automation for your trap, your tree, and your bees. I guess kind of a pickle with the Dryad button on this map, but it's possible though. Just reliant on you going around lighting stuff up. I went down and get it lit. There we go. And that one. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not bothered by it because I'd grind on this game anyway. Like, there's nothing different that this update has added me other than I can now train in my pristine whatnot for lower quality stuff. And that's just for that instance that I need 30 plane modes to upgrade my stuff. I need 30 shiny modes to upgrade my stuff in Onslaught. That way I can get it back to Chaos 7. And that's just for my EV trap, because like I said, I carry myself. So with that in trenches, you know, being able to convert materials down, that's a benefit to me. Because I don't have to go back to Chaos 1 to grind out 30 shiny modes, or 30 plane modes. And then go back to Chaos 4 to grind out 30 shiny modes. I can just downgrade my pristine modes to what I need. And I have an overabundant amount of pristine modes and things that I need. Ingots and all that stuff. So, that being said, that's a benefit to me. But on the downside, that means I don't get to go back and grind out lower tier shards that I do need, like Destruction, Defense Rate, and Deadly Strikes. Because I don't have all of my stuff gilded out for all of my heroes. Like I said, I have every hero but 2, and that's the initiative to adapt. And all of them are usable, so I mean, roughly I would need how many? Let's see here. Oh wait, they're going to ready up before I can do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 times 11. 100 and I want to say 41? I don't know. I'm not good at math. But just saying, if it was 141 or whatever, I need that many destructions for all of my heroes. Gilded out. Now say 14 times 2. That's... I am so bad with math, I'm sorry. That's 28. 14 times 2 is 28. I need 28 million to gild out just all the destructions on all my heroes. That is bad per cost of defending gold. What is not lit? This one. See, they've even built their wrong sections here, I would say. So take that 28 million and multiply it by 2 again. That's included with the destruction or defense rate and deadly strikes. All that combined is what I need to gild out all my stuff if I were to use that shard blender. Which, me personally, I'm not going to do. Give me a sec, I will be right back. one of my pet peeves, even if it's on a stream or whatever. If something comes up and it's urgent or needs tending to, I have to go do it. Because I am one to care about that. Nothing too major though, but it was something that needed to be done. Now, where were we at? Oh yeah, back to what I said. So, well, I'm done talking about that. I'm done talking about that. Let's go on a different topic then. So, me personally, I have yet to check out the Petrify combo. And from what I hear, it's good, but they since data they've broken the poison dart towers or something, and I haven't used my PDTs that often, even in a control burn and onslaught, because I've had no use for it. Because my EV cups, I'm leveling them up, so it's the control burn from them. But I've heard that PDTs are now attuned to poison, so you can't put an earth chip on them, which I never wanted to anyway. But I've heard that people have put an earth chips on their PDTs, and they've got earth and now the new poison, or like a poison server. I don't know what's in the game as far as that goes, but they've got earth and something on their PDTs. What I'm going to suggest for people that have done that, to fix that issue, put that earth on your cannonball. Like if you got earth on your PDTs, put the earth on your cannonballs and put your PDTs next to your cannonballs. PDTs are poison, your cannonballs will be hitting for the earth damage. Boom, you got your Petrify combo. You didn't waste that chip. You didn't waste that slot. So switch off what you have for your PDTs. If you put in earth on your PDTs, put that on your cannonballs. And run cannonballs earth and PDTs for the poison, and there's your Petrify combo. Because your cannonballs are going to hit a single target unless you've got the shard that allows cannonballs to pierce. PDTs will hit 3 targets, but then return to the 1 target until it dies. So, still with that being said, you don't want the whole lane petrified. Because if you petrify the entire lane, nothing will be killing anything. You can't damage things that are petrified, nor can your towers. It's the enemies damaging enemies. So if all the enemies are petrified, nothing... It's that other one. Nothing gets... Get off. Nothing gets... Oh, they blocked this wave. Nothing gets killed if everything's petrified. Like, you don't want a massive petrified lane. You just want 1 or 2 enemies petrified. So with that being said, have your cannonballs not being pierced. And have your cannonballs the earth and your PDTs the poison, which are attuned to poison now. That's what I would assume, and that's what I would do, personally. But me, I don't think I'd run the Petrify combo much. And if I did, I would use the Mystic for that. I would use Venomous Vipers and probably Earth Shatters. Or something along that lines. But I am tempted to check out Dryad's Poison Mushrooms and an Earth Chip on the Dryad. I'm tempted to check that out. Like if I drop the Poison Mushrooms and then I hit an enemy with an Earth weapon if it gets petrified. That's what I'm tempted to check out. Because for me, there's no better way to poison than to drop a shroom. Obviously, I could use a tower, but for a hero, there's no better way to poison than to drop a shroom for me. Yes, I could use my Mystic, but there's no better way to poison than dropping shrooms for me. Notice how when I built, no one had to light these. When they build, I'm the only one lighting these. It's like no one has the capabilities to go around and lighting these or know which ones the dragon will hit. Dragonfrost Keep is an easy map to lose if you don't know the pathing of the dragon, or if you don't have either Burning Strikes or the Hunter setup. You can do the lighting and all that stuff just with the Huntress, but it's slower, and you might lose some areas because of that. You need it to be lit fast. Because think about it, in this game, unless you're set up on a Barbarian, which I can be, I could switch to my Barbarian if I spec them back out as far as, you know, using XP and all that stuff and re-leveling them up. I could use the Barbarian and hold 3 lanes by myself with Frostfire and all that stuff going. But alas, someone else wanted to build, so I let him build. And it's, I think it's Pukas that's built, yeah. Pukas has built everything, even these easy traps, yeah. World tree destroyed, Pukas. No one's lighting and stuff. Got an assassin on it. You gotta keep doing this. They gotta keep. The only thing they have to do as far as these guys and them being the players in this map, they have to keep lighting what I'm doing. They have to keep doing what I'm doing. Now the dragon just came, but I don't see anywhere that's been affected. Nope, dragon's just now coming. Wow, that kamikaze just completely messed me up. I don't see why they would want to build though, considering I built everything in the last map, so we won everything. No one's repairing the tree. Like, dude is Ascension, what, 1? Yeah, he's got 1 ancient power under his belt. That's not enough as far as ancient powers goes to know all of your placements and what to do in this game, I would assume. Like, I would consider anyone that hasn't completed Mastery, or anyone that hasn't pushed past floor 50 in Onslaught, or anyone that only has 1 ancient power, a bit, you know, noobish. Like, you don't understand all the placements and, you know, all the works and inner workings of each map and whatnot. Because Drakenfrost, like I said, it's an easy map to lose. It's a seriously easy map to lose. Like, if you don't, for one, if you don't have a way to beat Draken, you can't beat his map. That's just the bottom line. You can't beat Drakenlord, you can't beat his map. Because everything that Drakenlord has is his entire map. Now, I'm hoping that they give me their gem so I can build and this doesn't happen again. But all in all, like I said, you can lose this map very easily. You can definitely lose this map very easily. I'm not going to open those shards till later. I got a tier 9 protective downgrade. I'll keep that. Tier 6 Global Boom. Nope. Oh, this is trash. Don't need any of this. Well, there's a tier. I keep tier. Yes, that's what I need. I need a unique critical servo for my obelisk, and I need 1 for my volcano as well, for my for my lava mansion. But for the most part, let's see here if we can get a better. See, I don't want that hammerhead. That's what I don't want. I'd rather take that. So like I said, this is my basically dummy gun witch. I only have her because I'm gonna keep the oil chip until I find a stronger one. I only have the dummy gun witch because, like I said, I've got all of her stuff on her to where I can kill stuff effectively in Onslaught. I've got a dummy gun witch, I got a dummy There's tier 9 steel skin. Not bad. I don't need it though. I'll take that heavy chip though. I got a dummy gun witch, a dummy monk, and well, yeah, really that's it. Dummy gun witch and dummy monk. That's it. Lucas, you can leave too. I don't want to really deal with your builds no more. If I had to, I'd build my stuff around the crystals, I guess. Even though I don't really want to. Because I gotta farm this map, and that's why people leave. When they see that you can't effectively beat the map with your defenses, and we have to keep restarting, replaying, and all that stuff, people leave because they don't want to do that. They're there for the grind. The over and over type deal. So with that being said, dude built in a way that the map wasn't very effective. And the reason he did that is because he thought that, I guess, yeah, thank you for giving me your gem. At least I know now you're not going to build Jack. But the reason he did that and it wasn't effective is because, like I said, he was using a Dryad for one in Drake and Frost Keep, and not anyone but me was lighting the braziers. That's the issue. And obviously he doesn't have automation. If he did, he would at least had it on his bees. So with that being said, actually let me see if I can switch this and run around a little bit. Put the EV trap there. Actually, I needed to connect that. Well, that's going to be fine because literally if I put a flame or I'll have to worry about lighting that area, and I don't want to do that when I'm farming Drake and Frost Keep. I mean, I could put my automation on my flame ores, but like I said, this is my dummy monk, so my dummy monk isn't as strong as my actual monk. Like I said, I just got stuff set up for when I need to go in onslaught and pushing those floors so I can, you know, get my ancient powers. I can use a monk. I mean, my minimum ascension level was 570, so I can put roughly 100 something points, 180 I think, in my flame wars right off the start, which is efficient enough for me to push in certain floors that I need to. Yeah, this is my dummy monk. We'll see what my flame wars is doing. Unless he's lighting this down here. 390k. That's not bad. That's literally my dummy monk and what I use. But for the most part, I just use my EV traps. Like, I don't really need much else to push in onslaught. Well, like I said, with this and automation me being a max mastery player, like, my stuff isn't frozen. And yet this isn't, he froze this. I mean, you can see he froze this. But yet they're still getting whooped down there. Now granted, I can unfreeze it if I wish, but I don't need to. That's the whole benefit of having automation and being a max mastery player. I don't have to worry about this map freezing my traps and whatnot. Literally, the Dryad and me can do exactly what we're doing now, just flying around doing nothing. Because once this game, you know, you get strong enough in this game, it's really, you don't have to do a single thing anyway. Like, to be honest, that's how Dungeon Defenders is. Once you get strong enough in Dungeon Defenders, you shouldn't have to push right trigger for the most part until you see like a siege roll or something. But then even at that point, you can set your stuff up to AFK anything in this game. Aside from the Drake and Lord, if you get his shield up, you really can't AFK that unless you've got Ramsters that have fire and you got a way too oil. For me personally, with that setup, I use oil geysers from the Lava Mentor and my Ramsters from the Abyss Lord, and then I can AFK Drake and Lord. So yeah, technically in this game you can AFK everything if you're strong enough. And I am strong enough if I were to, like I said, put my XP and, you know, all my materials back into certain characters. I am strong enough. I'm just on an ancient power grind, but currently I'm on a money grind. I just need money, and I'm trying to just get XP and build up my ascension level. Because it's going to take me a little bit, because I'm on my 10th ancient power, so Yeah, I'm on a 10th ancient power. Cannon over. Let's see here. Yep, yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, I've got 5 ancient powers up there on the top left hand for defense power, and I got 4 for defense crit chance. I gotta get the 5th one for defense crit chance, and I'm going for defense crit damage, then defense health, then defense range. And then I'll have all the defense as far as ancient powers go. And then at that point, I'll only have like 20 or so more to get. And then I'll be max ancient powers, just like Terminator. Like, Terminator is the reason that I'm on this ancient power grind, believe it or not. Like, after I finished Mastery, and he was surprised that I finished Mastery at less than 500 ascension, I then at that time asked him, I said, is there anything else I can do in this game? Because literally I thought Mastery was it. And this was months ago. I thought Mastery was it. After I did Mastery, got my automation, my game was over. I had like 750 stars or 735 stars. Like, I thought that was it. I asked Terminator, I said, what else can I do? He's like, you want to start on your ancient powers? And I'm like, all right, so let's start on ancient powers. He's like, this is what you need to do. You need to get this, 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 and this. Go on this floor, start on this floor, build up your ascension to this much, and then reset. I was like, all right. I got exactly what I need for floor 73 as intended. Got my minimum ascension to 567, reset, and since then I've pushed ancient powers, and so far I got in 9 ancient power points. And even at this point, I'm still asking Terminator questions from time to time. Just on certain things, like, because Onslaught has things like, you don't see things every day in Onslaught like you do in Expeditions. Like, Expeditions, you don't never see Frosty, or things, or like Lava Guardians, or things like that. So, every now and again, I'll get like Frosty's Zerker Wumpers or something like that, and I'd be like, so they over there messed up my stuff, Terminator, what do I do? He's like, alright, you need this now. So I go and get an anti-frost server, which I have on me. And that's when I'm going to be putting on my fissures for my lava mentor. Because there's no Cyfrost flyers, they're only ground units. So I've got this anti-frost servo in my inventory right now that I'm going to be putting on my lava mentor's fissures. And then on top of that, I'm putting a defense range servo on my fissures and an anti-melee servo on my fissures. So there'll be anti-frost, anti-melee, and defense range. So they're taking extra damage because they're frosty, taking even more damage because they're melee enemies, and the range, I just need to increase the range, you know, just in general. I could use the rate, I could put like a defense rate, but personally I'm gonna go anti-range, or anti-melee, anti-frost, and defense range. That's what I want. Fissures. Because I've got other things to compensate for, you know, rates and whatnot. Like, I've got the Flame Wars, the Ramsters. Like, I could use any of that for the Frosties, to be honest. But I want my fissures to be set up like that. Because fissures are like an overpowered Flame War, if you will. Like, fissures can essentially be stronger than Flame Wars. So, with fissures only being able to hit ground, I would want only anti-melee. Like, they don't benefit from anything else. As far as air... What is this glitch? Do you guys see that? They don't benefit from anything like anti-ranged or anything like that. Like, you could put anti-ranged on Flame Wars, which would be kind of idiotic. But you could put anti-ranged on Flame Wars and set them up to kill flyers faster. I mean, you could do that. Anti-support for the little bee flyers, the little purple bug flyers. Those are support flyers. Wyverns are your... I know that Cobalt are the control flyers. Like, there's support, control, and just fire in general. So that would be range. So yeah, I think the dragons are just the range flyers. The bug guys are the support, and the Cobalt are control. Don't you just love it how you gotta like this stuff for your traps to keep working? Gosh, you gotta love the automation. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with my figures. Now, as far as my Mystic goes, I think I might do the same thing as I did on my Volcano with my Mystic and do the unique power servo and all that stuff. But I don't know if I should or shouldn't. Like, I'm still debating on that. I mean, it would be wise for me to, but I just feel like I can do something else with that. I don't know, I've still got my Barbarian. Like I said, these are all dummy characters that you're seeing. Like, I've only got dummy characters on right now because of Onslaught and new characters. I don't have to worry about leveling up everything on all my characters. I just gotta worry about the gun whip for the most part. Oh, where did he come from? Wow, I did not even notice that. I was like, where did he come from? Replay. He came from down here. I've got to put an extra EV trap here. Yeah, I'll just put an extra EV trap. That's all I got to do. For the most part, that's all I have to do. He probably just got through because, I mean, he's got a lot of health. EV traps are not meant to really take out bosses. More or less, they can take out everything else. They're not meant to take out bosses because they're mainly used for stun. So with that being said, him being a boss, you know. I'm gonna put an extra one on each side since we got the space. Might as well, right? I don't want to take no chances again. But no, like I said, that is my dummy gun witch. If you want to see my real stuff, we're just gonna put the main 3 that I use. So this is my real gun witch. Mastery wings, all that stuff. This is the real Barbarian, and this is my real monk. So like I said, the other characters are not, they're not, I mean, like I said, they're only for Onslaught. Like, this one's strictly for Flame Auras, this one's strictly for Lightning Auras, this one's strictly for Sky Guards, Poison Dart Towers, and just for me to kill stuff is DPS. That's all those are used for. And then, like I said, I got the Abyss Lord, Mystic, Dryad, Lavamancer, Squire, Eevee. Like, I've got all the heroes besides the Adept and the Initiate. Those are the only ones I don't have. I don't have the Adept or the Initiate because I've just, to be honest, couldn't care for reskin. And yes, the Adept has the Health Storm Tower, but it's really, I mean, in all honesty, it's no different than the Crossfire. And I don't even use that. So why would I want to use reskin? You know what I mean? All the other heroes are viable. Like, they're viable for my gameplay and how I play, but the Adept and Initiate, they're not. But yeah, I mean, it's funny though, because people, they're like, hey, you're Max Mastery player, and you say you're Max Mastery, but you don't have wings or nothing, or you don't have the halo, because people know what the Mastery gear looks like. And when they see me on stream or whatever, they're like, well, you say you're Max Mastery player, and I say, yeah, and they're like, well, why don't you look like a Max Mastery player? And I said, do you really judge how someone looks by how strong they are? And they're like, yeah, and I said, don't judge a book by its cover, for one. And then I go to show them my shards, and I was like, does a Max Mastery player have automation? And they're like, yeah. And I said, all right, I've shown you automation. Is that not good enough for me to show you me being a Max Mastery player? And like, yeah, but it's just you don't look the part. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm using dummy characters right now because I'm pushing Onslaught. And then I switched to a real gun witch and my Barbarian and whatnot. And they're like, oh, wait, can you invite me? I got a question, I got this, I got da-da-da-da. No. Remember when you was judging book by its cover? And now you want to, you know, hit me up and stuff because you know what I really look like? See, that's one thing you don't do. You don't judge a book by its cover. Granted, I don't brag about being a Max Mastery player. I mean, anybody can become a Max Mastery player. You just got to put forth the grind and know how to attune and build to that map. But with that being said, it's harder than I'm actually saying it. So me being a Max Mastery player is kind of a benefit to me bragging a little bit. So at least I can say I've been there, done that. I've been through that long enough. But it doesn't mean I'm any different than you. It just means I've got hyper charge over you. You might not have hyper. And hyper charge do, you know, they do matter. I mean, like I said, in this map specifically, all I gotta use is automation on my EV trap. Which it doesn't even state it on the actual shard, but automation gives 100% tenacity, meaning my traps cannot be affected by any negative effects. Doesn't even state it on the shard. The developers know about it, and they decided to keep it. So that means automation will always give you 100% tenacity, no matter what. So, yeah. And then I've got hyper shards that I'm not even using, like mass destruction, vicious strikes. Like, I'm not even using them. At times I want to use them, but really, 2 million to level it up every time, and then I'm on an onslaught reset grind, like I'm resetting constantly. Like that's 2 million each time that I don't have. Because for one, I take 2 million and I level up my EV trap every time. Like I push myself in onslaught with my EV traps. 2 items sent to scavenger. Why is stuff being sent to scavenger? I've got 8 bags of inventory. There's nothing that should be sent to scavenger. Nothing at all. Oh gosh, what is being sent to scavenger? I'm assuming it's my armor that's... Yeah, it's got to be my armor. Pukas left us. It's alright though. It's got to be my armor though. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, now we're just farming out this map because for one, it gives the most XP, second, it gives the most money, and third, you get your win bonus and even more money because it's got 6 rounds versus 5 rounds on every other map. Yeah, it's my armor. I've got armor in my pets and team for a bag now. So my armor's got to be full. Yep, look at that, armor. Armor. And I got a